Now to a Fox 23 investigation. Pittsburg County Commissioners voted to let a judge decide whether the sheriff keeps his job.
Fox 23 broke the story last week when Sheriff Chris Morris was charged with embezzlement and briefly booked into jail. Here's his mugshot. Morris has been the Pittsburg County Sheriff for nearly 8 years. And as Tulsa's investigative reporter Jana Clark found out today, at the commissioners meeting, there are a lot of people who support him.
This room isn't very big, but it was jam-packed, and people definitely showed up to support the sheriff.
As soon as we come out of executive session, then we'll invite everybody back in.
Not long after the room filled up, the 3 Pittsburg County Commissioners wanted to talk in private in executive session. Turns out all the people who showed up came to support Sheriff Chris Morris. He didn't want to talk, but Jessica Gillum did.
I'm here in support of him because he has done a lot for community members throughout our county, and he especially the work that he has done with children. He was one of the main people in our county that helped children to not to have to testify in open court, child victims, so they would not have to face their alleged perpetrators.
My son had a smile on his face for the first time in years, because he treats him like a human being and not a throwaway junkie.
Suzanne Carney told me her son's in jail now and struggles with drug addiction and mental health issues.
Oh gosh, without this man, my son would be dead. I'm a mom, and I owe so much to him for caring.
Well, what do you think about the embezzlement he's accused of?
You know, I don't know about all that. That's something I haven't researched.
Sheriff Morris faces a felony embezzlement charge over buying and selling a couple of UTVs. The affidavit says this all started when the Pittsburg County Clerk gave information she had to the district attorney. The affidavit says Morris didn't like his Polaris side-by-side because it had already broken down and he needed to find a way to get out from under it. It says he sold it to the business Vickers Power Sports. Then the sheriff's office bought the Polaris for an inflated value. Court documents say after getting a higher trade-in value, Morris could then buy a new ATV at a reduced price. The affidavit says Morris defrauded the county and personally benefited from the transaction. I called Vickers Power Sports to see if anyone there wanted to do an interview. They said no. When county commissioners came back from executive session, Morris's attorney said he's innocent until proven guilty.
We believe he's going to be found not guilty. We believe he's going to be vindicated and acquitted at some point.
His attorney also pointed out this is all happening with Morris running for re-election.
We have an election in 4 weeks. The people of Pittsburg County have the right to make that choice on their own.
Some people claim politics is the reason for the charge.
It's all political. You can put A and B to equal C.
Commissioners want a court to decide if Sheriff Morris should keep his job.
We're not deciding this. We're moving it to a judge.
This is Wagner County's district attorney. The Oklahoma Attorney General appointed him to this case.
A judge will make a decision as to whether or not the accusation goes forward, whether or not there is a suspension.
I hate it for the county, but with the evidence that was presented to us, it was hard not to. I don't know. We're responsible for this.
There was a room full of people supporting the sheriff. Did that make it difficult to make your decision?
No, I appreciate their concerns, but like until now though, this is public record now. They didn't know what we knew when we was making that call. So I think if they read the evidence and what have you, that they would probably, you know, understand more why we did what we did.
We'll just have to work through the process and show our support, and I feel like he's a good person.
Within 5 days, a judge will decide whether the sheriff is suspended or not, and we'll let you know what happens. In McAllister, covering news that matters, Jana Clark, Fox 23 News.
The sheriff's election is on June 18th. You heard some about that in Jana's story. Chris Morris, who is a Republican, is being challenged by another Republican named Randy Hass.